right, today is June 21st, 2016. It's a big day for the world of unmanned aerial vehicles. The FAA today made a huge announcement, and what we've been waiting for so long and what has been delayed for so long finally happened. The Department of Transportation through the FAA has finalized its Part 107 rules, its rules for operation of commercial drones, UAVs, UAS in the national airspace. So what I want to do is kind of let you know a little bit where we are and some of the things that you need to be thinking about as we enter this new world of Part 107, how it relates to Section 333 exemption holders and petitioners. So this new rule, Part 107, was announced today, finalized today, published by the FAA today sometime, so they say. And it's going to take effect in late August. There's a waiting period of 60 days from the rules publication in the Federal Register. So 60 days from publication, and it's going to take, according to the FAA, about 5 days for the rule to get published. So sometime by late August, early September, theoretically, you'll be able to start to go through the process to get what they're calling a remote pilot certificate, which is a drone pilot license. And how long it'll take you to actually get that remote pilot certificate remains to be seen. However, perhaps by fall, you'll be able to hold a remote pilot certificate, which will then allow you to fly under Part 107. So let's take a look at this. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I think that what we want to do today is just kind of take off the big chunks so that you understand what you need to do and where this is going. If you have a Section 333 exemption right now, you don't need to do anything. You're going to continue to fly under that exemption, both today, next month, and potentially even after Part 107 gets implemented. You'll have the option of flying under Part 107 or under your Section 333 exemption. And you will likely have that option until your exemption expires, which is 2 years after it was issued. So if you have your Section 333, hold tight, keep flying, and get educated on Part 107, which will then come into effect. Will allow you to get your drone pilot license, your remote pilot certificate, and be able to be a drone pilot and operate under Part 207 or Part 107. So here's the deal. If you're waiting for your Section 333, you applied but haven't received it yet, then things are a little less clear, but here's what we know today. The FAA is going to compartmentalize those petitions for exemption into buckets, one of 3 buckets. And depending on which bucket you're in, you're going to have different options. If the FAA determines that your exemption request is essentially going to allow you to fly the same under Part 107, then you're going to get notice, and it's going to say you have the option essentially of withdrawing your exemption or converting it into a Part 107 and flying under Part 107. If it is requesting more than just the standard Part 107 operational parameters, then you will then be potentially put into the waiver program under Part 107, which is being developed, and will then allow you to fly beyond Part 107 regulations. For anyone that wants to fly beyond Part 107, instead of going Section 333, the FAA has created a new waiver process, which we have yet to see, but will allow you to fly in certain ways beyond the regulations, and we'll have a whole show devoted to that. So if you have your 333, keep flying, you're good, no changes necessary. You'll have option of flying under 107 later. If you don't have your 333, we're recommending that you, when we do get notice from the FAA that you can convert, that you simply move forward, get your Section 333, and also then have the option of flying under Part 107. This is going to protect you in a couple different ways. Number one, there might be delays in implementation by the FAA. So why would you want to essentially abandon your Section 333 if there could be a problem down the line? If in late August they're not ready to implement, if there's been some incident between a manned and unmanned aircraft and everything's on hold, or if there's litigation concerning the implementation of Part 107 and all of a sudden it doesn't get implemented. So you want to have those 2 options. You want to be able to fly under Section 333 or Part 107. That's the safest route. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the remote pilot certificate. This is really one of the big changes under Part 107, and it essentially is a drone pilot's license that you'll be able to get. Right now under Section 333, you have to do what? You have to have an airman certificate with a sport or recreational level certification. You have to have a manned aircraft license. And so that's going to go away under Part 107. There'll be something that will be specific to drones. That is going to be a lot easier to get. It'll be an initial aeronautical test at a FAA approved knowledge testing center. So you'll go to a FAA approved center, you'll take a knowledge test which will grill you on Part 107, airspace requirements, and other federal aviation regulations. If you pass that, then you're going to be able to potentially put in to get your certificate and have that sent back to you by the FAA. If in fact you have a non-student Part 61 pilot certificate right now, you have your pilot's license, then you're going to be able to have a much simpler process to be able to get your remote pilot certificate. You'll essentially be able to qualify if you have completed a flight review in the previous 24 months and you take a UAS online training course. So not a test, but a training course will be offered to you, and then you'll be able to have your remote pilot certificate. So let's recap. What should you do? You don't have to do anything right now. Everything's good. This is creating more options. It's going to create more opportunities for everyone in UAS. You should study Part 107. That's going to be the new regulation at some point, and you're going to need to understand how to fly under Part 107 legally. In many ways, it's much simpler than Section 333. The third thing you should do is just stay tuned to DroneLaw.Pro. We are going to be analyzing Part 107 and educating everyone on how to comply. This is drone attorney Enrico Schaefer, and we'll see you next time. We will be talking Part 107 for quite a while into the future. Thanks, and have a great day.